Life lessons from Jesus that will change you. Introduction. There are moments in life when we search for answers everywhere. Success, relationships, money, recognition, only to discover that what we're truly missing is peace. The greatest transformations don't begin when your circumstances change. They begin when your heart changes. Jesus didn't just teach people how to survive difficult seasons. He showed them how to live with purpose, courage, humility, and hope. His words have influenced billions of lives because they speak directly to the struggles every human being faces: fear, rejection, failure, pride, forgiveness, and purpose. Today, let's explore 6 life lessons from Jesus that have the power to completely change the way you think. Live and treat others. 1. Love others even when it's difficult. One of the most powerful and life-changing lessons Jesus ever taught is this: love others even when it's difficult. At first, that sounds simple. Most of us believe we know what love is. We love our families, our friends, the people who support us, encourage us, and make us feel valued. But Jesus challenged people to go far beyond that. He taught that true love isn't measured by how you treat those who are easy to love. It's revealed by how you respond to those who disappoint you, misunderstand you, reject you, or even hurt you. Think about that for a moment. Anyone can be kind when life is going well. Anyone can smile when they're being appreciated. Anyone can show generosity when they feel respected. But what happens when someone speaks unfairly about you? What happens when someone betrays your trust, ignores your kindness, or returns your love with criticism? Those are the moments that reveal your true character. Those are the moments when the teachings of Jesus become more than words. They become a way of life. Jesus understood something that many people still struggle to understand today. Hatred creates more hatred. Anger creates more anger. Bitterness grows like a seed if you continue feeding it. Every time you replay an offense in your mind, every time you refuse to let go of resentment, you allow someone else's actions to continue controlling your emotions. You may think you're punishing the person who hurt you, but in reality, you're carrying the weight while they continue living their life. That's why forgiveness is so powerful. It doesn't always change the other person, but it changes you. Forgiveness is not pretending that the pain never happened. It is not saying that betrayal was acceptable or that injustice should be ignored. Forgiveness is choosing freedom over bitterness. It is making the decision that your future is more important than your past. It is refusing to allow yesterday's wounds to define tomorrow's possibilities. Imagine how much lighter your heart would feel if you stopped carrying every disappointment from your past. Imagine waking up each morning without replaying old arguments, old mistakes, or old betrayals. Imagine the peace that comes from releasing what you can no longer change. That is the freedom Jesus wanted people to experience. But loving others isn't only about forgiveness. It's also about compassion. Every person you meet is carrying a battle you cannot see. The impatient coworker may be overwhelmed with pressure. The rude stranger may be struggling with pain that no one knows about. The person who seems distant may be fighting loneliness, fear, or disappointment. We often judge people's behavior without understanding their story. Jesus looked beyond people's mistakes and saw their humanity. He saw potential where others saw failure. He saw value where others saw weakness. What if we started doing the same? What if instead of immediately criticizing someone, we chose understanding? What if we replaced quick judgment with patience? What if we responded with kindness even when kindness wasn't returned? That doesn't mean allowing others to take advantage of you or accepting harmful behavior. Healthy boundaries are important, but you can protect your peace without losing your compassion. You can walk away from unhealthy situations without filling your heart with hatred. The world often tells us that strength means getting even, proving people wrong, or making sure everyone knows when we've been hurt. Jesus showed a different kind of strength. Real strength is remaining kind in a world that often rewards cruelty. Real strength is refusing to let someone else's negativity change who you are. Real strength is choosing love when your emotions are pulling you toward anger. Every act of love creates a ripple effect. A kind word can restore someone's confidence. A moment of patience can save a relationship. A simple act of forgiveness can break a cycle of pain that has lasted for years. You may never fully realize how deeply your kindness impacts another person's life. So ask yourself today, what kind of person do I want to become? Do I want to be known for my anger or for my grace? Do I want my heart to be filled with resentment or with peace? Every day you have that choice. Remember this: loving others doesn't always change the people around you immediately, but it always changes the person you are becoming. It strengthens your character, it protects your peace, it frees your heart from unnecessary burdens, and over time, that kind of love becomes one of the greatest testimonies of a life transformed by the teachings of Jesus. Prophecy 2. Faith is strongest during uncertainty. One of the greatest lessons Jesus teaches us is that faith is not built when life is easy. It is built when life is uncertain. It's easy to trust when everything is going according to plan. It's easy to believe when the path ahead is clear. Your prayers seem to be answered quickly, and every door you knock on opens without resistance. But real faith is revealed when the future is unclear, when your plans fall apart, and when you're forced to keep moving forward without knowing exactly what comes next. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you wished you could know what tomorrow holds? How often have you wanted certainty before taking the next step? We naturally want guarantees. We want to know that our hard work will pay off, that our relationships will last, that our dreams will become reality, and that our struggles will eventually make sense. We want a clear roadmap before we begin the journey, but life rarely works that way. Jesus never promised that every question would immediately have an answer. Instead, he continually invited people to trust even when they couldn't see the whole picture. That kind of trust isn't passive. It's an active decision. It means choosing confidence over fear, even when your emotions are telling you to worry. Many people believe that faith means never having doubts. That's not true. Faith isn't the absence of questions. Faith is choosing to keep moving forward, even while you still have questions. It is saying, I don't understand everything that's happening right now, but I refuse to let uncertainty control my life. Every person faces seasons when life feels unpredictable. You may lose an opportunity you worked hard for. A relationship you believed would last may unexpectedly come to an end. Financial pressures may increase. Health challenges may appear without warning. Doors you expected to open may remain firmly closed. In those moments, fear begins to whisper that nothing will ever get better. But fear is not always telling you the truth. Fear focuses on everything that could go wrong. Faith reminds you that there are possibilities you cannot yet see. One of the most difficult things about uncertainty is that it forces us to surrender control. We like having plans. We enjoy knowing what's next. We feel safe when everything is predictable. Yet some of life's greatest transformations happen only after we release the illusion that we can control every outcome. Sometimes the closed door that frustrates you today is protecting you from a path that was never meant for you. Sometimes the delay you're struggling to understand is preparing you for an opportunity that requires more growth, more wisdom, or better timing. Looking back on life, many people realize that the moments they once called disappointments eventually became turning points. Jesus consistently encouraged people not to allow fear to become louder than faith. That message is just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Fear will always present convincing arguments. It will tell you that you're not ready, that you're too late, that you've failed too many times, or that your circumstances are impossible to overcome. Faith answers with a different perspective. Faith says your current situation is not your final destination. Faith says that setbacks can become preparation. Faith says that delays are not always denials. Faith reminds you that growth often happens quietly, long before anyone can see the results. Think about a seed planted beneath the ground. For a long time, nothing appears to be happening. If you judged only by what you could see, you might assume nothing is growing. But beneath the surface, roots are developing. Strength is being built. Life is taking shape when no one can see it. The same is often true in your own journey. Just because you cannot yet see progress doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Your character may be growing. Your patience may be increasing. Your resilience may be becoming stronger. Your perspective may be changing in ways that will prepare you for future opportunities. One of the greatest mistakes people make during uncertain seasons is believing that waiting means wasting time. But waiting can be one of life's greatest classrooms. Waiting teaches patience. It teaches perseverance. It teaches humility. It teaches us to value what truly matters instead of chasing instant gratification. Jesus showed again and again that timing matters. Not every blessing arrives the moment we ask for it. Sometimes we need to become the person who is ready to handle the blessing we've been praying for. Success without character can become destruction. Opportunity without wisdom can become regret. That's why preparation is often just as important as the opportunity itself. So instead of constantly asking, "Why is this taking so long?" ask yourself, "What can I learn during this season? How can I grow while I wait? What habits, attitudes, or perspectives need to change before I step into what's next?" Those questions shift your focus from frustration to growth. Faith also changes the way you respond to challenges. Instead of seeing every obstacle as proof that you're moving in the wrong direction, faith helps you see obstacles as opportunities to become stronger. Every challenge develops qualities that comfort never can. Courage grows when you face fear. Patience grows when you experience delays. Wisdom grows through difficult decisions. Compassion often grows through personal pain. The strongest people are rarely those who have lived the easiest lives. More often, they are the people who refused to quit during seasons of uncertainty. They kept believing when the outcome wasn't guaranteed. They continued moving forward one step at a time, trusting that clarity would come with persistence. Perhaps that's exactly where you are today. Maybe you're standing at a crossroads, unsure which direction to take. Maybe you're waiting for an answer that hasn't arrived. Maybe you're carrying questions that no one else can answer for you. If so, remember, this uncertainty is not evidence that you've been forgotten. It is not proof that your future has disappeared. Often, uncertainty is simply the space where faith grows the deepest roots. Don't let temporary confusion convince you to abandon a permanent purpose. Keep showing up, keep growing, keep praying. Keep making wise decisions. Keep treating people with kindness. Keep becoming the person you're called to be, even before you see the results you've been hoping for. One day, you'll look back and realize that the season you once feared was the very season that shaped your strength. The waiting taught you patience. The uncertainty taught you trust. The obstacles built your resilience. And the journey itself prepared you for blessings you couldn't have handled before. Faith doesn't promise that life will always be easy. It promises that uncertainty does not have to define you. When you choose faith over fear, hope over panic, and perseverance over giving up, you discover a strength that circumstances cannot take away. And that's one of the most life-changing lessons Jesus ever taught. You don't have to see the entire path to take the next faithful step. Sometimes all you need is the courage to trust that even in uncertainty, you are still being guided, still being shaped, and still moving toward a purpose far greater than you can currently imagine. 3. Humility opens doors pride never can. One of the most profound lessons Jesus taught is that true greatness is never measured by how high you climb. It is measured by how willing you are to serve. In a world that constantly encourages us to promote ourselves, seek recognition, and prove our worth, Jesus offered a completely different path. He showed that humility is not weakness. It is one of the greatest strengths a person can possess. Many people misunderstand humility. They think it means having low self-esteem, hiding your abilities, or believing you're less valuable than everyone else. But that isn't what Jesus demonstrated. Humility is not denying your gifts. It is using them to serve others rather than to glorify yourself. It is having confidence without arrogance, strength without pride, and success without forgetting where you came from. Pride constantly asks, "How can I make people notice me?" Humility asks, "How can I make someone else's life better?" That single shift in perspective has the power to transform not only your relationships, but your entire life. Think about the people who have made the biggest difference in your life. Chances are, they weren't the loudest people in the room. They weren't constantly talking about their accomplishments or trying to prove how important they were. More often than not, they were people who listened, encouraged, served, and believed in others. Their influence came from their character, not their ego. Jesus lived this lesson every single day. Although he possessed unmatched authority, he consistently chose compassion over status, service over recognition, and love over power. He showed that real leadership isn't about standing above people. It's about lifting people up. That's a message our world desperately needs today. We live in a culture that often rewards self-promotion. Social media encourages us to compare our lives with everyone else's. Success is frequently measured by followers, applause, titles, and public recognition. It's easy to begin believing that your value depends on how many people admire you. But the applause of people is temporary. The strength of character lasts far longer than public attention ever will. Pride is dangerous because it quietly convinces us that we no longer need to learn. It tells us we already know enough. It makes us defensive when we're corrected and uncomfortable when someone else succeeds. Pride turns life into a constant competition where every conversation becomes an opportunity to prove ourselves. Humility does the exact opposite. Humility keeps your heart teachable. It allows you to admit when you're wrong. It gives you the courage to apologize without seeing it as defeat. It allows you to celebrate someone else's success without feeling threatened. Instead of asking, why them? Humility says, I'm grateful for their success, and I'll continue growing in my own journey. That mindset creates freedom. The humble person isn't trapped in endless comparison because they understand that everyone has a different path. They don't need to steal someone else's spotlight because they trust that their purpose doesn't depend on someone else's failure. They understand that another person's victory does not diminish their own potential. One of the greatest signs of humility is the willingness to keep learning. The moment you believe you have nothing left to learn is often the moment you stop growing. Every experience, every challenge, and every person has something to teach you if you're humble enough to pay attention. Wisdom begins with the recognition that there is always room to improve. Humility also transforms the way we handle success. Success can either strengthen your character or expose your pride. It's easy to stay humble when you're struggling. It's much harder to remain humble when everything is going well, when opportunities increase, when people begin praising you, and when your achievements are recognized. That's when humility becomes most important. Never allow success to make you forget the people who supported you during your difficult seasons. Never allow achievement to convince you that you reached the top entirely by your own strength. Every opportunity you've received, every lesson you've learned, and every breakthrough you've experienced has been shaped by countless moments, relationships, and acts of grace along the way. Humility reminds you to stay grateful. Gratitude protects you from pride because it constantly shifts your focus from entitlement to appreciation. Instead of believing you deserve everything, you begin recognizing every blessing as something to be valued rather than expected. A grateful heart remains grounded no matter how much success arrives. Humility also changes the way you respond to criticism. Pride immediately becomes defensive. It wants to argue, justify, and protect its image. Humility pauses and asks, is there something valuable I can learn from this? Not every criticism is accurate, but even difficult feedback can become an opportunity for growth when your heart remains teachable. Some of the strongest leaders in history were also among the most humble. They didn't lead through fear. They didn't demand respect by force. They earned trust through consistency, integrity, and genuine care for others. People willingly followed them because they felt valued, not controlled. Jesus showed that serving others is never beneath a great leader. In fact, serving others is what makes a leader truly great. Every act of kindness, every encouraging word, every moment spent helping someone who cannot repay you reflects a heart that understands the true meaning of greatness. Imagine what your relationships would look like if pride no longer controlled your decisions. Imagine how much conflict could disappear if people were more willing to listen than to win arguments. Imagine how much stronger families, friendships, workplaces, and communities would become if more people chose humility over ego. Humility doesn't make you invisible. It makes your influence deeper. It doesn't weaken your voice. It gives your words greater credibility. People are naturally drawn to those who combine confidence with kindness, strength with compassion, and success with gratitude. So ask yourself today, are you more focused on being admired or on making a difference? Are you chasing applause or are you building character? At the end of life, people won't remember you simply because you were successful. They'll remember how you treated them, how you made them feel, and whether your life reflected love, integrity, and compassion. The doors that pride tries to force open often remain closed. But the doors open through humility, trust, wisdom, meaningful relationships, lasting influence, and inner peace lead to a life of far greater significance. That is why one of the greatest life lessons from Jesus is this: the strongest people are not those who constantly seek to be first. They are the ones who willingly serve, continue learning, remain grateful, and quietly allow their character to speak louder than their accomplishments. When humility becomes the foundation of your life, it opens doors that pride could never unlock. Pray for. Your purpose is greater than your comfort. One of the most powerful lessons Jesus teaches is that a meaningful life is rarely found inside a comfortable one. We all enjoy comfort. We enjoy routines that feel familiar, situations we can predict, and places where we feel safe. There is nothing wrong with appreciating peace or stability. But the problem begins when comfort becomes more important than growth. The moment we allow comfort to control our decisions, we often begin saying no to the very opportunities that could transform our lives. Jesus never promised that following the right path would always be easy. Instead, he showed that a life of purpose often requires courage, sacrifice, patience, and perseverance. The greatest blessings are rarely found by standing still. They are discovered when we are willing to take faithful steps into the unknown, trusting that every challenge has the potential to shape us into the person we are meant to become. Think about how often fear disguises itself as comfort. You tell yourself, "I'll start next month. I'll wait until I feel more confident. I'll take the opportunity when the timing is perfect. I'll speak up when I'm sure I won't fail." But weeks become months. Months become years, and before you know it, you've spent more time waiting than living. The truth is that perfect conditions almost never exist. If you wait until every fear disappears, every question is answered, and every obstacle is removed, you may spend your entire life waiting for a moment that never comes. Jesus consistently invited people to move beyond what felt safe. He called ordinary people to extraordinary lives, not because they were already perfect, but because they were willing to trust and take the next step. Their courage didn't come from having all the answers. It came from believing that their purpose was greater than their fear. The same principle applies to us today. Every meaningful dream will eventually require you to leave something comfortable behind. Sometimes it's the comfort of familiar habits. Sometimes it's the comfort of other people's approval. Sometimes it's the comfort of avoiding difficult conversations, refusing to forgive, or staying in environments that no longer help you grow. Growth always asks a question. What are you willing to leave behind in order to become who you're meant to be? That's not an easy question to answer. Comfort whispers, stay where it's easy. Purpose says, there's more waiting for you. Comfort tells you to protect yourself from failure. Purpose reminds you that failure often becomes the greatest teacher. Comfort wants certainty. Purpose requires faith. Many of the opportunities that change our lives first appear disguised as challenges. A difficult season may be preparing you to become stronger. A closed door may be redirecting you towards something better. A setback may be teaching lessons that success never could. Looking back, many people realize that the experiences they once wanted to escape became the very experiences that prepared them for their greatest breakthroughs. Purpose is rarely discovered in moments of convenience. It is often revealed through persistence. Every obstacle you overcome strengthens your character. Every sacrifice you make teaches discipline. Every difficult decision develops wisdom. Every challenge increases your resilience. Imagine if every athlete stopped training because exercise was uncomfortable. Imagine if every entrepreneur quit after their first failure. Imagine if every musician gave up after making mistakes, or if every teacher stopped after facing criticism. Greatness would never be achieved because greatness always requires someone to choose growth over comfort. Jesus showed this throughout his life. He consistently chose obedience, compassion, and service even when those choices were difficult. He never allowed temporary comfort to replace eternal purpose. His example reminds us that significance is built through faithfulness, not convenience. One of the biggest obstacles to purpose is the fear of other people's opinions. Many people never pursue the life they were created for because they spend too much time worrying about what others might think. They avoid opportunities because they fear criticism. They silence their gifts because they fear rejection. They remain stuck because they are seeking approval instead of pursuing purpose. But here's an important truth. If you allow other people's opinions to determine your direction, you'll spend your life living according to someone else's expectations instead of your own calling. Not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone will support your decisions. Not everyone will believe in your potential. That's okay. Purpose doesn't require universal approval. It requires personal conviction. Another challenge is that purpose often develops slowly. We expect dramatic breakthroughs overnight, but real transformation usually happens through small, consistent choices. Every act of discipline matters. Every decision to remain faithful matters. Every moment you choose integrity over shortcuts matters. Purpose is not built in one extraordinary day. It is built through thousands of ordinary days lived with extraordinary commitment. This is where many people quit too soon. They don't see immediate results, so they assume nothing is happening. They don't receive instant recognition, so they believe their efforts are meaningless. But growth is often invisible before it becomes visible. Just as a tree spends years developing deep roots before reaching impressive heights, your character is being strengthened in ways that others may never see. Those hidden seasons are not wasted. They are preparing you for responsibilities you couldn't carry without them. Purpose also requires sacrifice. Sometimes you'll need to let go of distractions that steal your attention. Sometimes you'll need to leave unhealthy habits behind. Sometimes you'll need to choose discipline when comfort seems much more appealing. Those choices are rarely easy, but they are always worthwhile because every sacrifice made for a meaningful purpose becomes an investment in your future. Ask yourself today, what comfort is preventing me from growing? What fear is keeping me from taking the next step? What opportunity have I been postponing because it feels risky? Your answers to those questions may reveal exactly where your next season of growth begins. Remember, your purpose isn't simply about personal success. Jesus taught that a meaningful life is one that blesses others. Your gifts, your experiences, your talents, and even your struggles can become sources of encouragement and hope for someone else. Sometimes the pain you've overcome becomes the message that helps another person keep going. Sometimes your perseverance becomes someone else's inspiration. That is the beauty of living with purpose. It extends beyond your own life. It creates a positive impact that reaches people you may never even meet. So don't settle for a life that is merely comfortable when you were created for a life that is meaningful. Comfort may feel safe for a moment, but purpose gives lasting fulfillment. Comfort keeps you where you are. Purpose calls you toward who you can become. The life Jesus invites us to live is not one without challenges, but one filled with meaning. Every step of faith, every act of obedience, every sacrifice made for what is right shapes a future far greater than temporary ease ever could. Never let the comfort of today rob you of the purpose waiting for you tomorrow. The road may not always be easy, but it is on that road that your character is refined, your faith is strengthened, and your true calling begins to unfold. Because in the end, you'll never regret leaving your comfort zone to become the person you were created to be. You will only regret the opportunities you never had the courage to pursue. Coffee 55. Your heart determines the direction of your life. One of the most important lessons Jesus taught is that real transformation always begins on the inside. The world spends an enormous amount of time focusing on appearances. People work hard to create the perfect image, achieve success, gain recognition, and impress others. We often believe that if we can change what people see on the outside, everything else will fall into place. But Jesus repeatedly reminded people that the condition of the heart is far more important than outward appearances, because what is inside eventually becomes visible on the outside. Your heart is the place where your thoughts, attitudes, desires, motives, and decisions begin. Long before your actions are noticed by anyone else, they are first shaped by what is happening within you. Every word you speak, every choice you make, every relationship you build, and every direction your life takes is influenced by the condition of your heart. That is why Jesus placed such great importance on it. If the heart is filled with bitterness, bitterness eventually appears in your words. If the heart is filled with fear, fear begins controlling your decisions. If the heart is filled with pride, relationships slowly become more difficult. But when the heart is filled with love, peace, gratitude, humility, and faith, those qualities naturally overflow into every part of life. Think of your heart as the foundation of a house. People admire beautiful walls, impressive windows, and elegant decorations. But none of those things matter if the foundation is weak. A house with a damaged foundation may look strong for a while, but eventually the cracks begin to appear. The same is true of our lives. You can achieve success without peace. You can gain recognition without joy. You can accumulate wealth without contentment. You can impress the world while quietly struggling within yourself. Eventually, whatever is happening inside will reveal itself outside. That is why Jesus focused on changing hearts instead of simply changing behavior. Behavior can be adjusted for a short time, but lasting transformation happens only when the heart itself changes. Real change is not about pretending to be a better person. It is about becoming a better person from the inside out. Many people spend years trying to fix their circumstances while ignoring the condition of their heart. They believe changing jobs, moving to a different city, earning more money, or achieving another goal will finally bring lasting happiness. Yet they often discover that the same fears, worries, anger, and insecurities follow them wherever they go. Why? Because external changes cannot permanently solve internal problems. Jesus taught that if you want your life to move in a different direction, you must first allow your heart to move in a different direction. The quality of your inner life will eventually determine the quality of your outer life. One of the greatest threats to the heart is bitterness. Every one of us experiences disappointment. We are all hurt by someone at some point. We all face betrayal, rejection, unfair treatment, or broken expectations. Those experiences can either make your heart stronger or harder. Bitterness quietly convinces you to expect the worst from people. It steals your peace, damages your relationships, and prevents you from fully enjoying the present, because your heart remains trapped in the pain of the past. Jesus taught forgiveness not because it is easy, but because he knew that an unforgiving heart eventually becomes a prison. Forgiveness does not erase the memory of what happened, nor does it excuse wrongdoing. Instead, it releases the heavy burden of carrying resentment every single day. It gives your heart room to heal and your life room to move forward. Another danger is fear. Fear has a way of shrinking your world. It tells you not to try because you might fail. It tells you not to trust because you might be hurt. It tells you not to dream because you might be disappointed. But when fear controls your heart, it also controls your future. Jesus constantly encouraged people to replace fear with faith. Faith does not guarantee an easy journey, but it gives you the courage to keep walking even when you cannot see the entire path. A heart rooted in faith approaches challenges differently. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" it begins asking, What if this difficulty is preparing me for something greater? Gratitude is another quality that transforms the heart. It is impossible to live with constant appreciation and constant resentment at the same time. Gratitude shifts your attention away from what you lack and toward the blessings you already have. It doesn't deny life's difficulties, but it refuses to let difficulties become the only thing you notice. People with grateful hearts often experience greater peace because they learn to celebrate progress instead of constantly chasing perfection. They recognize that every new day is an opportunity to grow, serve, and become a better person. Humility also protects the heart. Pride constantly compares. It seeks recognition and approval. Humility keeps you teachable. It reminds you that no matter how much you know, there is always more to learn. A humble heart welcomes correction, values wisdom, and celebrates the success of others without feeling threatened. Then there is love, the greatest quality Jesus demonstrated throughout his life. Love changes how you speak to people. It changes how you respond during conflict. It changes how you forgive, encourage, and serve. A heart filled with genuine love becomes a source of hope for everyone it touches. The beautiful thing about the heart is that it can be renewed. Your past does not have to define your future. Mistakes do not have to become your identity. Every day is an opportunity to choose different thoughts, healthier attitudes, wiser decisions, and a deeper commitment to living with integrity. Transformation begins with small choices. Choose kindness over anger. Choose forgiveness over bitterness. Choose gratitude over complaining. Choose faith over fear. Choose humility over pride. Those daily choices may seem small, but over time they shape the person you become. Remember, every destination begins with a direction. If your heart is moving toward truth, compassion, wisdom, and faith, your life will gradually follow that same path. Your actions will become more intentional. Your relationships will become healthier. Your decisions will become wiser because they are flowing from a healthier foundation. So take time to examine your heart. Ask yourself honestly, what thoughts have I been feeding? What emotions have I been holding on to? Am I allowing fear to guide me, or am I choosing faith? Am I carrying bitterness that needs to be released? Am I becoming the kind of person I truly want to be? These are not easy questions, but they are life-changing questions. The answers reveal the direction your life is heading. Jesus understood that changing the heart changes everything else. When your heart is transformed, your words begin to change. Your priorities begin to change. Your relationships begin to change. Your purpose becomes clearer. Your peace becomes deeper. And the person you see in the mirror slowly becomes someone who reflects compassion, integrity, courage, and hope. Never underestimate the importance of what is happening inside you. Your heart is more than the center of your emotions. It is the compass of your life. Wherever your heart consistently points, your life will eventually follow. So guard it carefully. Fill it with truth instead of fear, gratitude instead of complaint, love instead of hatred, humility instead of pride, and faith instead of doubt. Because when your heart is aligned with the principles Jesus taught, it doesn't simply change the way you live, it changes the direction of your entire life. Pisces 6. Hope is stronger than any storm. One of the most comforting and life-changing lessons Jesus teaches is that no storm lasts forever. Every person, no matter how strong they appear, will face seasons of difficulty. There will be moments of disappointment, seasons of waiting, unexpected loss, unanswered questions, broken dreams, and challenges that seem too heavy to carry. Storms are not a sign that life has singled you out. They are part of the human journey. The question is not whether storms will come. The real question is, what will you hold on to when they do? Jesus consistently pointed people toward hope. Not a hope built on perfect circumstances, but a hope that remains steady even when everything around you feels uncertain. That kind of hope is powerful because it is not dependent on what you can see. It is rooted in the confidence that today's struggle is not the end of your story. When life becomes difficult, it is easy to believe that things will never change. Pain has a way of making temporary situations feel permanent. A difficult week starts feeling like a difficult life. One disappointment convinces you that every opportunity will end the same way. Fear begins telling you that the future will only bring more hardship. But fear has a habit of pretending to be the truth. Hope speaks with a different voice. Hope reminds you that no season lasts forever. Just as the longest night eventually gives way to the morning, every difficult chapter has the potential to lead into a new beginning. The storm may feel overwhelming today, but storms are temporary. They pass. The person you become while walking through them, however, can remain stronger for the rest of your life. Jesus never promised that life would be free from challenges. Instead, he showed people how to remain steady in the middle of them. That is one of the greatest differences between temporary happiness and lasting hope. Happiness often depends on circumstances. Hope remains alive even when circumstances are difficult. Think about the strongest people you know. Their strength usually wasn't built during easy seasons. It was built during moments when they had every reason to quit, but chose to keep going anyway. They learned patience while waiting. They discovered courage while facing fear. They developed compassion through pain. They found wisdom through failure. Every storm left them stronger than before. The same can be true for you. Sometimes the greatest mistake we make during difficult seasons is believing that our current situation defines our future. We begin introducing ourselves by our struggles instead of our potential. We see ourselves only through the lens of disappointment. But Jesus continually reminded people that their present circumstances were never the final word. A setback is not your identity. A failure is not your identity. A loss is not your identity. Those are experiences you go through. They are not the person you are. Hope gives you the courage to separate your identity from your circumstances. It reminds you that you are always more than the worst thing that has happened to you. Another reason hope is so powerful is because it changes the way you see obstacles. Without hope, every obstacle looks like a dead end. With hope, obstacles become opportunities to grow. The mountain doesn't disappear, but your perspective changes. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking, "What is this experience teaching me? How can I become stronger because of it?" That simple change in perspective can transform your entire journey. Many people assume that strength means never feeling discouraged, but Jesus understood human emotions. Feeling afraid, tired, or uncertain does not make you weak. What matters is what you choose to do next. Hope allows you to acknowledge your struggles without allowing those struggles to control your future. There will be days when progress feels invisible. You may pray without immediately seeing answers. You may work hard without receiving recognition. You may give your best and still experience disappointment. Those moments test your perseverance. But remember this, growth is often happening beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. A tree spends years developing deep roots before it grows tall enough for everyone to admire. Those hidden years are not wasted, they are essential. Your life works much the same way. The patience you are learning today, the resilience you are building today, the wisdom you are gaining today, the character you are developing today. These are the deep roots that will support the blessings and responsibilities of tomorrow. Jesus also taught that hope grows stronger when it is shared. Encouraging someone who is struggling doesn't only strengthen them, it strengthens you as well. Sometimes your words become the reminder another person desperately needs. A simple act of kindness, a listening ear, or a message of encouragement can become a light in someone else's darkest season. Never underestimate the impact of bringing hope into another person's life. One conversation can restore courage. One act of compassion can renew someone's confidence. One moment of kindness can change the direction of someone's day, or even their life. That is the ripple effect of hope. Hope also protects you from giving up too soon. Many breakthroughs happen just after people feel like quitting. If they had stopped one step earlier, they would never have experienced what was waiting on the other side of perseverance. We rarely know how close we are to a new beginning. That is why hope keeps us moving forward, one faithful step at a time. Ask yourself today, what storm am I allowing to steal my hope? What fear have I accepted as truth? What would change if I believed that this season was preparing me instead of defeating me? Those questions matter because your perspective influences your perseverance. When hope fills your heart, you begin seeing possibilities where fear only sees problems. Remember, storms do not last forever. The rain eventually stops. The clouds eventually clear. The sun eventually rises again. And when it does, you often discover that you are stronger, wiser, more compassionate, and more faithful than you were before the storm began. Jesus taught that hope is never wasted, because hope keeps your eyes fixed on what is still possible, rather than what has already gone wrong. It reminds you that every ending can become a new beginning, every setback can become preparation, and every challenge can become part of a greater purpose. So if you are walking through a difficult season today, don't let temporary pain convince you to abandon lasting hope. Keep believing, keep growing, keep praying, keep choosing kindness, keep taking the next faithful step, even when you cannot yet see the destination. Because one day you will look back and realize that the storm you thought would break you actually built you. It deepened your faith, strengthened your character, expanded your compassion, and prepared you for a future you could not yet imagine. That is why hope is stronger than any storm. Storms may shake your circumstances, but they do not have to shake your spirit. Challenges may test your faith, but they cannot destroy a heart that refuses to stop believing. As long as hope remains alive, there is always another step to take, another lesson to learn, another sunrise to witness, and another chapter waiting to be written. Hold on to hope, because with Jesus, no storm has the final word. Hope does. Hafez's conclusion. As we come to the end of this message, remember this: the teachings of Jesus were never meant to be admired from a distance. They were meant to be lived every single day. These lessons are not just words from history. They are timeless principles that have the power to transform your heart, your relationships, your purpose, and your future. Choose to love even when it's difficult, because love has the power to heal what anger never can. Hold on to faith when life feels uncertain, because your greatest breakthroughs are often born in seasons where you cannot yet see the outcome. Walk in humility, because true greatness is found in serving others, not in seeking applause. Never trade your purpose for temporary comfort, because the life you were created to live will always require courage. Guard your heart, because the direction of your life will always follow the condition of your heart. And no matter what storm you face, never lose hope, because hope is stronger than fear, stronger than failure, and stronger than any circumstance you may encounter. The world doesn't need more people who simply know these truths. It needs more people who live them. Imagine the difference you could make if you chose forgiveness instead of bitterness, compassion instead of judgment, faith instead of fear, humility instead of pride, and hope instead of despair. Your life could become a source of light and encouragement for everyone around you. Remember, lasting change doesn't happen through one big decision. It happens through the small choices you make every single day. Every act of kindness matters. Every moment of forgiveness matters. Every step of faith matters. Every decision to do what is right, even when it is difficult, is shaping the person you are becoming. So as you leave today, don't simply ask yourself, "What did I hear?" Ask yourself, "What will I do differently?" Because knowledge only changes your life when it becomes action. May these lessons from Jesus guide your decisions, strengthen your faith, bring peace to your heart, and give you the courage to become the person you were created to be. No matter where you are today, your story is not over. A new beginning is always possible. A better future is always within reach. And every step you take toward love, faith, humility, purpose, a pure heart, and hope is a step toward the life God desires for you. Thank you for listening. If this message encouraged you, carry these lessons into your daily life and share them through the way you live. Because sometimes the most powerful sermon anyone will ever hear is the life you choose to lead. May God bless you, strengthen you, and fill your heart with His peace. Thank you, and remember, when you follow the timeless lessons of Jesus, you don't just change your life, you become a blessing in the lives of others.